How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today, I'm going to go over the two trades I took on MNQ. It was pretty much break even day. I made $2, a little less than. Today was really choppy, not really great trading environment. So um, I stepped away kind of earlier in the day than I normally would, just recognizing that weren't getting the price action that we wanted. So real pretty much break even, no, not much going on today, but let's look at it. So I'll pull up the hourly charts. We'll talk about what I was watching. So in Q here, we had yesterday's sell-off. We came down this area, found some support, right? We opened up in this area, so naturally I'm watching for potential bounces down at the bottom of this area where we bounced before, and a potential rejection or something up here, or if we break and clear up here, going higher. We didn't get that. We have kind of that like that pre-market high or so. Didn't quite get there. Pretty choppy day overall, but that's what I was watching. Bounces down here, maybe a break and retest up here to get above that pre-market level. And then on ES, a little different. On ES, we had come down and made a low here yesterday off that big sell-off, and then kind of started trading in this range. So I was watching bounces down here, and I was watching potential rejections around like 55.40 or so, 55.41, 55.42 in there, because we had this base after we made this large rally up. We had this base that held as support. We kind of held it, at least closing above it, until we broke down, and then we're kind of retesting it. So I was watching for rejections up here as well as bounces down here, kind of just trading this range. All right, let's take a look. So we'll take a look at NQ first, because the two trades I took were on NQ. So as I mentioned, I was watching bounces down here. So that was my first trade. It was about 13 minutes or so off the open. So this is a 5,000 tick chart. I just want to back it up. Actually, I guess I could just zoom in here and that'll show it pretty well enough. The reason why I'm watching a bounce down in here is look at what we've done each time. Came down, bounced pretty aggressively, came down, bounced pretty aggressively, came down, bounced very aggressively. Right, we're moving pretty high up. Oh, I just saw this. So this was I took this in the pre-market. I was just trying something out. I started using bracket orders. I'll show that in a second. I started using bracket orders. So that was a 3, with fees, that was essentially break even. I was just trying out the new bracket order, and I used it today. So let's take a look. First trade I took, as I said, we came down here, was looking for a bounce. I waited. I saw us wick down here and start to pull up. As we started to move up, I entered. I used my bracket. So my bracket is an 8-point stop loss on NQ and a 15-point take profit. So about a 2-to-1. I'm just experimenting. I'll probably tweak it and update it as I feel necessary. But I did move my take profit down a little bit because I saw these wicks in this area, right? This wick here, kind of candle close here on that big hammer, wicks in here and here and here and here. So I moved my stop loss down a little bit because I think 15 points was somewhere up in here. I moved it down and took just 10. It moved really quick, so I was never really in any threat of being stopped out. My stop loss was 8 points below here, so 66. We're talking about 58, somewhere down in here. So had we come back down and tried to like flush that, would have stopped me out. But that was a really quick scalp. That was just 10 points on the dot, $20 profit right there. Got out also quick because we had news at 7:45 my time, and you can see that that's kind of right around this period of time. So it was a real quick scalp. I didn't really want to try to hold it. We would have gone up and hit that 15-point take profit had I not moved it down. So that's maybe something to consider. Just stick to it. I feel like 15 points is nothing for NQ. NQ can move 15 points in seconds. So I feel like if I'm taking a scalp or something, like a 15-point target is not too unreasonable. We flushed. We had some news. We flushed. Kind of came down. This would have been an excellent trade. I wasn't really paying attention to NQ at the time, which is a bummer. I was watching ES, but it came right down the bottom of the zone and formed these hammers, looking real solid for a bounce. Kind of sold off and then rounded out, getting those long wicks on the bottom, showing that buyers were present in that area. So that would have been a really, really, really nice long. And the reason why that zone is there, if we take a look at the hourly, if I flip over to NQ here, you can see that this was, a previous pretty big resistance zone. We came down and held it really well. So that was a nice opportunity that I missed. I just wasn't watching NQ at the time, which is, it happens. The second trade that I took, so we had some news around 7:45. We had some news around 8 a.m. This is my time. We came up, cleared, held yesterday's low pretty well, and then made kind of a lower high. And you can just see that the range we were in is pretty choppy, pretty messy. As we came down, I took my second trade here. Not the greatest. I don't love it because we were in this range, and this is at the bottom of the range, right? You don't want to short at the bottom of the range. You want to short at the top of the range. So like up here is that top of the range. Shorting up in here makes sense, and it works. Down here is the bottom of the range. Longing down here makes sense, and for the most part works. So I don't like this trade, but my thesis was that we had this breakdown of the support earlier and made a pretty big move. We made a lower high, then we came right back down and broke through this support on a pretty bearish candle. So as we came up to retest it, I took a short, same thing using my bracket. So I had an 8-point stop loss, I had a 15-point take profit. My take profit was like, somewhere down in here maybe. I was just looking for, a little bounce down, maybe retest these wicks in here, and looking for a scalp to the downside. However, we bounced pretty quick, and my stop loss was hit. We kind of did chop around in here, but I'm glad that I got out of that trade because we never would have hit my take profit, and ultimately we did end up going up. So this is not a good trade because in the grand scheme of things, if we look at the range we're in, you wouldn't want to necessarily short down here, right? You want to short up here. That gives you the highest chance of success at the top of the range. You want to take calls or longs down here because that gives you the highest chance of success when we're trading the range. So I didn't really like that second trade. I gave back some profit. It was an 8-point stop. So with fees and everything, I essentially break even on the day. Those are the only trades I took. Once I saw what it was doing, I just stepped away for the day, which is probably the best thing I did, and that was around 8:30. So I was watching for about an hour before I decided just to get out. Yeah, I don't want to trade the middle of the range. We spent a lot of time in the middle of the range. I tried to trade the bottom here. We didn't really get the pop that I expected. Still got a little scalp. And then kind of an errant, not so great trade here. This was just a pre-market, just testing out my bracket because I hadn't used it before, so that's just negligible. Don't even worry about that. I have started to transition over to trading a funded account, so I am going to transfer this into my bank. I bought an account with Apex, a 50K funded account, because they're 80% off right now is like $30. So even if I blow an account, the worst I lose is like $30. So just in recent light of things, I've been trading my own money. I blew a lot of my own money, sometimes taking hundreds of dollars of loss in a single day. When I look at a funded account with 50K capital that cost me $30, that's pretty reasonable. So I'll be doing that probably starting next week if everything's all ready to go. But yep, we're trying to turn things around. I think I'm gonna just try to utilize that so I'm not losing so much of my own money, and really try to hone things in. I think we're getting there. We're not perfect by any means, but I think we have the potential to turn this thing around, just continually to improve. So thank you for watching. I do trade live Monday through Friday. I'll be here all next week. Stop by if you feel so inclined. I'd love to have you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and peace out.